I think first off, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. There's nothing to be ashamed about. You know, I think everyone has some sort of fight with mental health. Some are a lot more severe than others, but that's okay. You know, we all have issues. Um, you know, I'm also diabetic, but I'm not embarrassed by it. That's just part of it. I take care of it. I don't brush it to the side. Your mental health should be treated the same way. Just like I rely on insulin, you may need to rely on a pill to help your mental health, and there's nothing wrong with that.
How do you make that change? How does somebody who has been denying it for a long time decide, I need to do something about it? Where does that threshold occur?
I think sometimes you just need to look in the mirror and ask yourself if you are being your best self. And if the answer is no, then you need to figure out how to correct it. And there's a lot of resources out there. Sometimes it's just, you know, being open and honest with others, and you'll find that others are open and honest with you about some of the struggles they're going through. Sometimes you need to see a medical professional, whether it be a doctor to get on antidepressants or anti-anxiety medicine, or you may need to see a counselor, and that's okay. You know, if you break your arm, you're going to go see the doctor. If your mind's not working right, you need to go see someone.
Farmers who are still farming, who went through the 80s, not that many of them anymore, but they probably were shaking it off and denying the stress that they had. As we look at declining commodity prices going into this year and next year, and higher input costs this year and not much change for next year, is this going to mean more stress for a lot of farmers that they may want to really think about getting some help?
I think absolutely. You know, when I look at myself, I know starting probably last fall, my anxiety started going up, thinking forward about, okay, how do I covering the costs going into 23 isn't the issue, but then how do I get money saved up to pay off my operating so I'm not paying 7-8% interest on my operating note without also getting nailed by taxes and paying 35% on taxes. You know, so there's a fine line there, and I have recognized that I have quite a bit of anxiety going into what I feel is coming to us, and I feel like we're going into, you know, the past couple of years were the 70s where times were really good, and I feel like we're going into the 80s, and but I think the first step is recognizing it and not saying, you know, it'll be okay, because it may not. So then how do you prepare if it's not okay? And if you come up with a solution for problem A, problem B, problem C, then when those problems may arise, you have a solution in hand instead of getting smacked in the face and then you take a tumbling crash down mentally.
Mental health services probably are not well known to farmers. They go to the doctor when they got a headache or a broken finger. But where does one go if they think they could get some help or need some help? Where do they go?
So through the Rural Health Initiative, there is a telehealth that you can get 6 free um, counseling sessions through, and that's, you know, it can be totally anonymous and it's just a phone call away. But then you can also Google therapists in your area, and I'll be upfront and open. I see a therapist, and I just talked to her over the phone, and she lives in Virginia, and I found her through Google. And my healthcare provider covers it through insurance, and you can find ones that fit your needs, because not everyone has the same backgrounds, not everyone's dealing with the same issues, so it's not a blanket policy. You know, you don't use a silage chopper to pick cotton, so you don't buy one machine to do all of your jobs. This is kind of the same thing. You got to find the right fit for what you're required, what your mind is requiring you to get.
We haven't talked very long, but in this short conversation, what have I not asked about that you think is important for farmers to know?
I think the biggest thing is just don't be, there's no shame in admitting that maybe you have an issue. You know, we all have issues. Some are larger than others. And there's nothing to be embarrassed about that. There's no shame to feel in it. It's just part of life. And the only shame that you should feel is if you don't do anything about it.